Oh no, my dear Watson, you quite misunderstand the matter. They deliberately arranged for King Charles to be photographed at the gates of Auschwitz. Consider first, my good fellow, that Winston Churchill once entertained the notion of bombing Auschwitz and Birkenau. The Americans, however, recoiled at the plan. Had those wretched death camps been obliterated then and there, it would have been nigh impossible to substantiate their very existence. An existence where millions perished in systematic extermination. A curious dilemma, is it not? And now, Watson, let us return to matters closer to home. The state of our English dwellings is nothing short of abysmal. They crumble, Watson, quite literally crumble. Dampness pervades them so thoroughly that mold, insidious, creeping mold, festers in nearly every old house. Children, poor wretches, inhale its toxic spores daily in their schoolrooms. What, pray, does this bode for the future of our nation? Naturally, the people murmur and discontent. And why should they not? The law proclaims one thing, yet those entrusted with its execution are false-hearted names. A most wretched state of affairs. We live in an era of stagnation, Watson. A period as grievous as the decline of the Soviet Union. There, too, men drowned their sorrows in spirits. Theft became the unspoken norm, and society functioned upon unseen strings, one man knowing another. Famous exchange in dark corners. It held together, just barely, until the very streets themselves collapsed, when the rubbish lay uncollected, and gaping holes yawned in the roads, like wounds upon the body of the state. Yes, Watson, the people grumble. And how does the government respond? With the illusion of recourse. You must observe, my dear fellow, that the citizen is always permitted to complain. He may write a letter, submit a formal grievance, even receive a polite acknowledgement from some ministry. But, mark my words, it amounts to nothing. A most cunning design, you see. This great edifice of bureaucratic grievance, far from redressing wrongs, serves instead to drive men to the brink of madness. A learned, rational man may embark upon the futile odyssey of seeking justice from his local council. A year hence, Watson, and he shall find himself a shattered creature, raving, exhausted, wagering his very sanity upon the roulette of ombudsmen and official appeals. For this is no system of justice, but a mere contraption, a grotesque amusement of chance, an infernal one-armed bandit. And at the end of it all, when his will is broken and his mind tattered, he shall be carted off to the asylum and dosed with soporifics. Thus the council's task is done. And as for the photograph of King Charles at the gates of Auschwitz, there lies another cunning jest. Even now, on their own ministerial websites, they decree, do not write to us should you have read of this in the press or glimpse it upon your screen. Do you see, Watson? The very act of inquiry is dismissed outright. And so, the beleaguered citizen, tormented beyond endurance, shall at last exclaim, I cannot bear it. To live in these homes is no better than a death camp. This broken shara, these creeping mold, these are my gas chambers. To which, Watson, the authorities shall reply with an air of most saintly forbearance, you are unwell, my dear sir. Why do you parrot the nonsense of the newspapers?